O dia que Ayrton Senna foi tratado como um Zé Ninguém. Welcome to another class, Learning English without translation with the beautiful story of Ayrton Senna. Como sempre, para assistir às outras aulas, basta ir no meu canal Felipe André, no YouTube, e você vai ter todas as aulas da série do Senna e outras séries. Olha quem chegou. Piratas do Caribe. Essa é fresquinha, novinha. Sherlock Holmes, Quarantine, Covid-19, outro do Sherlock Holmes, Marley e eu, Hamlet, Millennials, Nasce uma Estrela, tá por aqui também em algum lugar. Beleza? E, como eu sempre digo, aula de inglês, por melhor que seja, não muda a vida de ninguém. O que muda a vida de alguém, o que faz alguém ser fluente, é o pós-aula com áudios que você pode encontrar no meu Spotify Felipe André Inglês, tá? Todas essas aulas que eu citei para você estão em áudios aqui, além de várias entrevistas que eu fiz e faço com alunos que tiveram sucesso e se tornaram fluentes, adultos brasileiros que depois de adulto finalmente conseguiram se tornar fluentes estudando com este método. É o podcast dos 5% fluentes, hackeando o sucesso. Então, tudo isso para fortalecer e turbinar o teu inglês vai estar aqui no Spotify. E a aula de inglês não muda a vida de ninguém, o que muda a vida de alguém é um pós-aula com áudios e atividades que você pode fazer em caráter extraordinário, porque eu estou dando de presente 15 dias de acesso ao aplicativo exclusivo dos meus alunos Escola da Fluência, para você praticar. Aí vai ter outros áudios, porque se você quer ser fluente, você tem que ouvir muito. Aqui vai ter a narração do livro em inglês britânico e depois que você ouve e recapitula, você tem uma série de perguntas para praticar, fortalecer, fixar aquilo que você aprendeu na aula. Excelente, beleza, fechou? Dito tudo isso, vamos continuar então com a nossa aula de hoje. Deixa eu só deixar o Google preparado para a gente pegar as imagens durante a aula. Yes. Senna, second or third place is not enough. We had stopped here when Senna became the 1983 Formula 3 champion. Okay? Now, Senna, now that he had become the Formula 3 champion, now it was time for Senna to find, to locate, to encounter, to discover a team for him to compete in Formula 1. Senna was clearly a brilliant driver, and a lot of teams were interested in him. But each team could only have 2 drivers in Formula 1, and most of them already had 2 good drivers. In the end, after all, check it out. In the end, in the end, in the end, at the end of the day, finally, in conclusion, in sum, to sum up, in summary, in a word, all of them are expressions for concluding an argument, a thought, an idea. Okay? So, in the end, at the end of the day, finally, in conclusion, in sum, to sum up, in summary, in a word, Senna had to drive for Toleman, a team with some of the slowest cars in Formula One. And again, this is Senna's Toleman car. Okay? Usain Bolt, Sonic, the Flash, they are the fastest. Senna's car from Toleman was one of the slowest. Opposite of fastest. Okay? Opposite of fastest. So, he became a Toleman driver. And his first Grand Prix at home here in Brazil was terrible. His first race in Formula One here at home in Brazil was terrible, horrible, very bad. It was a failure. Okay? Terrible, very bad, horrible. It was a failure. There was a problem with the engine. There was a problem with the engine. Engine. Okay. There was a problem with the engine. And Senna couldn't even finish the race. He couldn't even finish the race. Okay? But then, even with the car's bad tires and slow engine, Senna's results got better. Okay? Just a minute. So, Toleman's car was slow. The engine, the engine was not powerful. It was slow. The tires were bad. The car was a mess. But the driver was amazing. The car was a mess, but the driver was amazing. Okay? And because of the driver, Senna's results got better and better and better. He started to get better and better and better results. Okay? And in May 1984, there was a special race at the Nürburgring in Germany. When? In May 1984. Where? Nürburgring in Germany. What? A special race. For whom? For past, present, and future champions of Formula One. But in this special race, there was a peculiar condition, which was everyone had to drive the exact same car. An ordinary Mercedes road car. Okay? So, ordinary, normal versus special, different. And the way it is today, nowadays, Formula One has 10 teams. Let me show you right here. Let me show you. Here. Formula One has 10 teams: Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri, Alpine, Aston Martin, Ferrari, Haas, McLaren, Mercedes, Red Bull, and Williams. And each of the teams has 2 drivers. Okay? So we have 20 drivers. Okay? There are 20 drivers racing, competing, disputing in 10 different cars, because Mercedes has one type of car for their 2 drivers. Okay? Mercedes has Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the Red Bulls, the Williams. Each team has one model of car for their 2 drivers. And there are 10 different cars on the grid in Formula One. For this special race here, it was different because there was one peculiar condition. Everyone had a drive in exactly the same car. A Mercedes ordinary road car. A Mercedes normal, common road car. A normal car. And back in May 1984, Senna was not a famous driver. So he wasn't even invited. Because Senna was just an ordinary, normal driver. Okay? Nobody knew him. Nobody knew who he was going to become. People didn't know Senna was going to be one of the greatest drivers in the history of Formula One. Nobody knew that back then in 1984. Because of that, Senna wasn't even invited to the race. Nobody called him to the race. He didn't receive an invitation to go to the race. And maybe you might be asking, what is an invitation? What is to get invited? So, check it out. When two people are going to get married, the ceremony is called wedding. Okay? When two people are going to get married, the ceremony where they are going to get married, the ceremony is called wedding. And they invite people to come to the wedding. They send people an invitation. Hey, I'm gonna get married on June 16th at 2 p.m. Come to my wedding. Okay? This is an invitation for Amélia and David's wedding. Okay? We also have birthday invitation. When you are going to celebrate your birthday, you choose, okay, the people you want to celebrate your birthday with you, and then you invite them. You ask them, you call them to come to your birthday party. You invite them. You send them an invitation. E aí, digamos que lá na festa aparece uma pessoa que a sua esposa jurava que não estaria na festa de aniversário. Ela vira para você e pergunta: Have you invited John to my birthday party? Ok? Um outro exemplo. Neste último Oscar agora, o filme que contava a história da Serena e da Venus Williams, as jogadoras de tênis, que chama King Richard, concorreu a alguns prêmios do Oscar e por causa disso, Serena and Venus Williams, they were invited to the ceremony. Que você digita, aparece o episódio, né, do que aconteceu com o que o Will Smith aprontou lá. Mas não vem ao caso agora, não é isso que eu quero falar. O que eu quero falar é a Serena and Venus, they are tennis players. They are not actresses. They don't work in the movie industry. But because of the movie, they were invited to the Oscars ceremony. Because of the movie, they received an invitation to come to the Oscars. They received an invitation. So, Senna was not a famous driver back in 1984. So, he wasn't even invited into the special race. But Senna really wanted to race against these great champions. He really wanted to compete, to dispute, to be in that race. He really wanted to go. So he talked, he spoke, he had a chat. Se fosse hoje, he texted, messaged a friend who worked at Mercedes. In the end, at the end of the day, finally, in conclusion, to sum up, in summary, in a word, Mercedes allowed Senna into the race. Mercedes permitted Senna to dispute the race. They allowed, they permitted, they gave him permission to dispute the race. Okay? They allowed. For example, smoking, nowadays, today, people are not allowed. People are not allowed to smoke on airplanes. Smoking on an airplane is forbidden, prohibited. It is not allowed. Okay? So, it is not permitted, not allowed to smoke cigarettes on airplanes. It's forbidden, prohibited, not allowed. Okay? Because Senna had a friend at Mercedes, he spoke to his friend, and in the end, Mercedes allowed. They gave Senna permission to dispute the race. And guess what? He drove brilliantly, and he was the winner of the race. He was the winner of the race. Ok? That weekend, many famous drivers from the past, they were talking about Senna for the first time. Just a minute. Vixe, ó. Nós deixamos passar. Aqui é um recado interno para o meu time do pedagógico. Nós deixamos passar uma palavra muito importante de se trabalhar. Upset. The bosses in Mercedes, they were upset. They were upset. They were upset. They were upset. They were. Deixa eu ver onde que eu boto aqui. They were upset. If you are upset, just a minute. If you are upset, are you happy? Yes or no? No. Are you satisfied? No. Do you like what you see when you are upset? No. Did you get what you wanted if you are upset? No. No. When you are upset, mad, nervous, red, you don't like what you see, you didn't get what you wanted, you are not satisfied, you are not happy. When you are upset, you are mad, nervous, you don't like what you see, you didn't get what you wanted. It wasn't the way you wanted. Things didn't go the way you wanted. Things didn't go the way you wanted. When you are upset, mad, nervous, red. Ok? E neste caso, the winner's car went, the bosses in Mercedes, they were upset. Não, não é aqui que mexe, aqui. They were upset because the winner's car, the car of the winner of the race, went to their car museum in Stuttgart. E eles se perguntaram: Who will want... Ó o carro aqui, ó. Eu tô na frente, né? The winner's car, Senna's car, went to their museum in Stuttgart. Okay? And they asked, but who will want to see the car of this nobody? Lembra do tema que eu falei no início da aula? O dia que Senna foi tratado como um Zé Ninguém. O dia que o Senna foi tratado como um Zé Ninguém. O carro foi parar no museu e eles ficaram indignados, chateados, irritados. They were upset, mad, nervous, red, irritated, because they were asking, who will want to see the car of this nobody? Little did they know they hadn't the slightest idea. They had no clue. Little did they know. They hadn't the slightest idea. They had no clue. They didn't see it coming. Little did they know that Senna was going to become one of the greatest drivers of all times. Little did they know that... Então, eles ficaram indignados, né? Porque o Senna ganhou a corrida, o carro dele foi parar no museu. Who will want to see the car of this nobody? Who will want to visit and see the car of this nobody? Who is Ayrton Senna? He's nobody. Nobody knows him. He's not famous. Little did they know. They had no clue. They hadn't the slightest idea. They didn't see it coming. Little did they know that Senna was going to become one of the greatest drivers of all times. Ok? Mal sabiam eles. Eles não faziam a menor ideia Não imaginavam. They didn't expect. Ok? Ó, um exemplo. Olha um exemplo interessante. Um exemplo interessante. Um exemplo interessante. Em 2011, a minha sogra, she was trying to fix me up with another girl. She was my pastor. Eu casei com a filha dos meus pastores. Então, they were my pastors, os pais da minha esposa, né? E ela especificamente, she trying to fix me up, to have me dating, to put me up, to connect me to another girl in the church. Ela estava tentando me coisar com uma outra menina na igreja. Little did she know that I was in love with her daughter. She had no clue. She had no idea. She hadn't the slightest idea that actually I wanted to date her daughter. Então ela me ligava para ficar falando bem da outra menina e tentando, né, dar uma hypada na menina e tal. E aí, às vezes, ela falava: Ah, você pode levar a sua irmãzinha para a igreja? E ela chamava a Jéssica de minha irmãzinha. Little did she know I would become her son-in-law. Little did she know I was going to be the father of her grandchildren. Mal sabia ela que eu ia ser o pai dos netos dela, né? Little did she know. E o pai da minha esposa também, que foi meu pastor durante anos, que me formou, meu caráter cristão, né? Little did he know he was forming and forging and building his own son-in-law, the father of his grandchildren. Assim também o meu sogro, que anos atrás, antes de eu conhecer a Jéssica, me formou, mal sabia ele que ele estava forjando, formando, construindo o próprio genro, o pai dos netos. Little did they know, they had no clue. Na verdade, ninguém, né? They didn't expect, they hadn't the slightest idea. They didn't see it coming. Ok? Talvez se a gente pegasse mais um exemplo, talvez um dos motivos pelos quais o Covid se alastrou tanto e matou tanta gente é porque nobody saw it coming. Significa nobody was expecting it, the virus, to be so lethal, so devastating, so dangerous. Lethal, dangerous. We had no clue. We had no idea. Little did we know. Little did we know what was coming our way. We didn't see it coming. We weren't expecting. We had no idea, no clue. The virus was so lethal, so dangerous, so devastating. We didn't see the pandemic coming. Ok? E esse daqui é mais um exemplo claro de por que aula de inglês sozinha não muda a vida de ninguém. Então você acabou de aprender. Como é que eu falo? Mal sabia ele. A gente não imaginava que ia chegar a esse ponto. A gente não imaginava que ia acontecer isso. A gente não imaginava, a gente não enxergava que ia. A gente não tinha a menor ideia. Mal sabia ele que. Você acabou de aprender. Como é que fala isso? Se você parar por aqui, você acha que semana que vem você vai lembrar disso? Não vai. O que você tem que fazer então? Acabou de assistir a aula? Você tem que ir lá no Spotify ouvir a aula de novo. Fazer as atividades. A propósito, os links para você conseguir chegar aqui, o link vai estar na descrição. O tutorial, né, a explicação do como é que eu faço para me cadastrar e ganhar esse presente de 15 dias de acesso ao aplicativo. Na aula 2 do Sena, aos 48 minutos da aula 2, eu explico. Tá? Aqui, ó. Aula 2 do Sena. Aos 48 minutos da aula 2, eu explico como ganhar e pegar este presente, 15 dias de acesso. Porque, repito, aula de inglês não muda a vida de ninguém. Isso daqui você acabou de entender, aprender. Se você não for lá e ouvir de novo essa aula e depois vir aqui e fazer as atividades que a minha equipe vai colocar, e aí eles vão botar vários exemplos para você pegar, para você fixar deixa eu até mandar para eles aqui, ó. Porque eu sempre crio, eu sempre vejo antes, a gente prepara a aula, mas sempre no ao vivo nasce uma abordagem que acontece aqui na hora. Tipo essa. Little did they know. Então, o que acontece? A minha equipe, por isso que a gente posta as atividades no dia seguinte, porque aí eles vão pegar isso que nasceu no ao vivo, que hoje foi little did they know, they hadn't the slightest idea, they had no clue, they didn't see it coming, they weren't expecting, they didn't expect. Eles vão pegar isso daqui e vão criar 10, 12, 15 atividades para praticar, reforçar, entender, masterizar, dominar essas expressões. Por quê? Porque se você não fizer isso, você vai esquecer. Você vai esquecer. Aí depois fica, ai meu Deus, eu não aprendo inglês, é difícil, eu esqueço tudo. Claro, claro. Não faz o pós-aula. Sem pós-aula não existe fluência. Ok? Então, o que você vai fazer agora? Primeiro, se inscreve no canal. Segundo, curte essa aula. Terceiro, vai lá na descrição, clica no link, vai lá no... Vamos até... Ô, Sabrina, vamos colocar o link do Spotify na descrição do YouTube, né? Que o cara quiser, ele já aperta direto. Vai lá e faz o pós-aula. Ouve a aula no Spotify. Faz a atividade que você ganhou 15 dias. E a gente se vê na próxima aula. Lembrando que segunda-feira, 4 de abril, começa o documentário dos 5% fluentes. Onde eu vou te mostrar as 2 chaves que você precisa para se tornar fluente em inglês. O passo a passo completo. Segunda-feira, 4 de abril, 5 da manhã, começa o primeiro episódio. God bless you. See you. Bye.